Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the brand new series of the Crusader Kings 3 series here on the Lord Master channel, featuring the Pannonian Avars, in which, as you could see, that there's been some changes, such as our man here, which is, he is now Duke Tuzniq, which he inherited from his father Baghatur, who has recently passed away, in which I'll show you what happened to him in a moment. And there's his wife there. And this is his daughter and heir, Sarah. But until he gets a son, he will have a proper heir, because a female Avar heir would not do in these parts. So this is why these clothes look different than the last time you saw them, because they've been moved up. The Duke and the Duchess, or in this case the High Chieftain and High Chieftess. We're still Tengrists, but now we enter into a period where the persecution of the Avars might be up at full swing, and we are one of the few that will attempt to resist it against the Bulgarian menace. And we'll explain why do the Bulgarians dislike us, whereas we try to be nice to them to a degree, and at the same time try to sustain our survival through raids or other means. Let us go to the Duchy of Visegrad. Oh, and by the way, before we go to here, just two more things. For this second episode, and for the rest of this series from now on, I added two more mods for this series. One is called Lulu's Events, which adds more, random events during peacetime mostly, similar to the Viet events. But for me, this is just additional, and they do go together. I did it myself when I tested this back in the pre-release version of Crusader Kings 3, the pre-roll card release, old version, basically. And the second mod, knowing that we might get into battles and sieges and upcoming conflicts, especially with the Bulgarians, I added this mod called Better Battles, which adds some events it happens when you command an army, you the character, command an army, and there will be battlefield events during a battle, sometimes duels, and there are even siege events as well, for decisions to make, more decision making. But the creator of it, says that it will not be as frequent, so we'll see about that. Let's head to Visegrad. This is the Duchy of Visegrad. We control Heves and Sabalux, it's where we live. In addition, I inherited my father's holdings in Visegrad and in Sisnad. Again, it's a Hungarian name, so I'm probably not familiar with it. It's part of Temes. Part of Duchy of Temes. So what happened to him is my Father Baghatur. He died at the age of 41. He died from his internal injuries. He was a brave man who killed 2 men in battle. Well, actually, no. He killed the Bulgarian mayor, and then he executed this woman for reasons unknown. Unless she committed a crime, be it adultery and whatnot. Probably not, otherwise it would have shown. Whatever she did, well, my father had her executed. And this was months before his death back in July 22nd. So, and prior to his death, he was an aspiring blade master, which he served as a knight under the Bulgarian military. So he served in the Bulgarian army. And he was a patriarch. He was a man who was truly dedicated to his family and the prosperity of his house. He was a family man, despite the fact that he Was married recently to her, which no, that's from a previous marriage. And now I inherited her as a court physician. So that's how my father met her. He didn't just marry some random Avarian woman. No. She served as not only his wife, but also as a court physician, which now I inherit his court physician, which is a now widowed woman who is shy, sadistic, yikes, and diligent. But she has very high learning, so fine by me. But what happened to my father? Despite her best efforts to try to comfort and treat him, it wasn't enough. He lost a leg, which that was a year ago or two, and then he was severely injured, and then he was maimed, and all that combination is what led to his death in internal injuries. So, rest in peace, Father. Hope you are with Tengri now. But after all, we worship our ancestors, and I'm sure I will worship my father a little bit before we continue on in our life. Now, I, Duke Tuzniq, now serve this land as its lord. And now I inherited my father's mighty army, which is mostly a mighty horde, because we inherited his light horsemen and some of his horse archers. Wow, it is a formidable force, but here's the issue. Because of the maintenance, and under a concubine limit. So encourage me to have concubines. Well then. I could do that with the high shaman. I mean, she's young, but... Or we could do that with one of your prisoners. But they say under the limit and lustful, so... Yeah. Her. Take you as my concubine. So am I under the limit? Okay, so... Here's the deal. When you are a duchy tier level as a tribe, or depending on faiths such as Tengrism, where concubines, so if allowed by general, I'll have up to 3. You can only have 1 spouse. Which means that if you're Duke, you gotta have 1. If you are a kingdom tier, you gotta have 2. And if you are an empire, you gotta have 3. But you can have more than once, it's optional. Like, if you want more concubines, just recruit some female courtier, just get some money, and spend prestige for that. Or, alternatively, let's raid the lands and get their women and serve under my... Yeah. But pay close attention, though, because some of them may have inheritable traits. So, if I want more concubines, look for the ones that are young, at least under 30 years old, and have good inheritable traits. So we shall look for those next time. But I'm only taking her because she is lustful and she's virtuous, so therefore she can respect me a little. And with that high stewardship, it makes me want to... Well, unfortunately, we cannot allow to serve women. Women to be... They can only be shamans and spy masters. Whereas my spy master really don't get along because you're also ambitious too. But I'd rather have somebody else that I could trust. Somebody more skilled. You do. Evil Blackguard, they call her. But she'll still have some use for it. Since you're very good at your skill, and I don't believe there's going to be any plots against me. And since I serve as a direct vassal to Bulgaria now, so I suggest that you go look for secrets. So it'll take 6 months if there's any. Again, it's a large country, so he may have secrets, his children may have secrets, his courtiers, the vassals, anyone's got to have secrets at this point. And I am not in his council. Oh, really? Is that the best he could do? I mean, he's not even a powerful vassal. And there's him. And before we continue on, there's 2 more things I want to show. Such as, why did the Bulgarians dislike us Avars? Well, the acceptance is 2, even though we're intermingling, and Prince Dux, who served as one of the governors of the area, he's the Transylvanian Duke there, which his vassals are Avars. Some are still Tengrists. So, okay, he's trying to have a more acceptance of his culture because he knows that he cannot dominate us Avars for a long time. So there's some degree of culture seconds, but it's largely just unacceptable. It's due to the recent change that the county of Temes was revoked from a ruler of the Avar culture. So there is some degree of persecution. And plus the Bulgarians, just like us, they have a ruling caste, so less acceptance to us. And unlike us, the Bulgarians have a warrior culture, which their traits such as strong or hale are seen as prestigious. The strong trait is more common. Traits such as weak or delicate are looked down upon, and children are more likely to get the rowdy trait. Children are less likely to get the pensive trait. They also have Koni raids, so they can recruit Koni as men-at-arms, which, to the Bulgarian military commanders, they'll take less losses in retreat and in friendly fatal casualties, but less of an advantage, while their cavalry and skirmishers do better with damage and screening. Not so much on siege web effectiveness, similar to the Visigothic hit-and-run tacticians. So in other words, when we fight against the Bulgarians, we're going to have a bit of a hard time trying to defeat them in battle. It's like, yes, we can inflict casualties on them, but it's going to take a long time until we get rid of them all. It's going to be stubborn. And they also have merciful blindings, which they can blind prisoners using a blind interaction on criminals with a banishment reason or execution reason grants piety. So do not get imprisoned by the Bulgarians. And their ethos is bureaucratic. So they have more monthly lifestyle experience a bit, more cultural fascination progress, and more development growth. So they think they are rather innovative. And speaking of innovations, this is what the Bulgarians know of. Mots, onagers, the mustering grounds, Khunzakhal, currency, crop rotation, and plenary assemblies. Whereas for us Avars, unfortunately, we are much more behind at times on innovations as compared to the Bulgarians, which they needed 5. We need 7. And I am its cultural head now, since I am like to think that I am the leader of the Avar culture. While we're still separated by clans. Unfortunately, we only know this, and this, and that, which pretty much tells you we are tribal. And you could say, yes, we do know how to grow our development, but we're going to have a bit of a hard time. And We're currently being exposed to an innovation, which in 50 years' time will have a bonus, which increases a more levy reinforcement rate. We're working on the Cassius Belli, which won't be around until 60 years. Which, again, there's a 38% chance to gain 0.34 progress each month due to its base progress, the average development of the Avar counties, base chance of fascination plus 33. So, this is what happens that you live in a land that has very low development. But since we live in farmlands, there is a chance to develop that, but we need a sustainable income. And then I will appoint my steward to increase the development to each and every one of these areas. So it'll be a bit of a struggle. And once they are fully reinforced, these two men-at-arms regiments, we'll see too of how much of that maintenance cost of being unraised is going to cost us in a long run. And if we need more prestige, go out and raid or go fight in wars. But remember, I'm not the only direct vassal to the Bulgarian king. The neighbor, Duke Ispor, is also another, who one day is going to grow up to be a giant. What happened to your fun? Oh, wait a minute, that's my half-brother. Need to negotiate an alliance. Is a claimant. Oh, don't even start. Tell you what. I don't know if this is right, but let me see. Can there be an alliance between us? I mean, I understand you're a child and all that, but... Oh, wait a second. I do have a claimant? Yes, you do. You do inherit your father's a lot of claims. Balaton, Rab, Bax, Baha, and its associated chiefdoms, including the ones across the Danube. Meaning that if I wish to become more powerful, we can get these claims for much less of a cost because, well, if I want to be a great duke, then if this is a way to unite the realm, to strengthen our forces, so even if I were to take it, I'll get its duchy, and you will be reduced to a lowly vassal, young brother. It's better for you to serve under me than under the Bulgarian king itself. I'd be willing to fight against them, but that's only to shield them, and then they can provide us with levies. Together we are stronger. But if we need an alliance from somebody from within, well, look for the vassals from within. But if someone converted to Orthodoxy, they are not to be reasoned with. Those who are still Tengrists, wherever you may be, will try to help you. Unfortunately, they're just women. No of our men. Seemingly, we are becoming more and more isolated. But you know, for starters, I think what you should do is first win an easy war against him, against my half-brother, and then my little half-brother. That means I'll be having more vassals for myself, but it would strengthen the realm. Which, fortunately, My father made it a limited tribal authority, which characters can be imprisoned, and tribal rulers of non-tribal lieges may settle, becoming either feudal or clan. And we could revoke titles, vassals could be retracted if you wish. And then there's the absolute, which is the only way to ensure if you wish to become a... Is that so? Adopt feudal ways through liege. Tengrism is an organized faith, unfortunately. So we can become feudal if we become of their faith. So that's not possible. But I could petition a liege, but unfortunately, that man hates my guts because he doesn't accept our culture because of who his culture is, of what he belongs to. He views that Tengrism is evil. He's also an ambitious man as much as I am. And he never liked my father. I could try to sway him. But, you know, distance could be an issue. But it doesn't hurt to try, alright? But are there any factions against my liege? None of them. FIC, create independence faction. Like if somebody has an independence faction, I'll be willing to join. I do not want to live under Bulgarian rule any longer. We fear their ways, and we fear their persecution, but you at least gotta stand up and fight for what you believe in. It's what you have to do. So, the real question is where to start. So I inherited the court physician. Oh, and also I inherited the Aquarian from my father. His aptitude is poor, which he's been serving for 4 years under my father. Well, actually he's had his jobs mostly under my father's time. And a court tutor is a Cretan man. Cretan? I did not know they added that culture in the game. I guess somebody must have missed that. I didn't do it. Anyways, so in this case, put the rally point down here. We may have to unite the realm. I need to get all the duchy titles for myself, just to show that I am a mighty duke or high chieftain. It'll make me look more prestigious in the eyes. Even though there is 3 dukes. But being separated like this is not going to do. They're going to get rid of us. That's what may happen. But I need allies. Hang on. Fine spouse, you goof. Somewhere not too far from here. Greater Poland is too distant away. Same for Lithuania. Serbian, maybe. Because this is Rashka. He's 16 years old. And Rashka is led by a Slavic pagan. Maybe considered inferior, but it's a start. You know, combine his forces with mine. Perhaps we can be strong together. Even though you're Serbian Orthodox, whereas he's Slavic, but not yet Orthodox, but son is. This is his other son. Which he is the heir to the County of Pondrinia. And he's feeling fine, so he'll be around for a while. One day I'm gonna have a son, so I'm willing to gamble on it. So let's hope for this union. Serb and Avar against Bulgarian. While I have to unite the realm from within. But we will do those actions in a few months. Yeah. But at least I'm more likely to have sons now whenever I get more concubines. Although I could appoint 2 more of them right now, but there's no need for that. For future reference. You want to negotiate an alliance? You're too weak in my opinion. Plus I'd rather have you taken out. So, in other words, no. You gotta get rid of your pretenders, one would think. Pretenders to the throne here. I mean, you'll still be my vassal, it's just you're gonna resent me for that. So, to make my liege, King Boris more susceptible to my attempts at approaching him, I can include a compliment in my next mission report. I'll be sure to mention his, well, he's an intimidating man, so I will say his assertive presence. And his allies from within the realm, which isn't going to help him. It's his total levies, but he's got a lot of cavalry, but so do we, but anyways. Our recent correspondence has been a source of joy for me. I cannot help but think we might both benefit from our increased communication. Excellent. Tell you what, if this Serbian alliance with us works out well, I may have to learn your language. Which in turn you would also know the language of the Bosnians and the Croatians. Just whatever is most convenient. Oh good. Pray for a son. Pray Tengri for a son. Unfortunately, Vladimir Rasta is not around anymore. Oh god, they executed him. By Tengri, they executed him. So, it is a shame. I was looking for how to pinch my accent while learning Slavonic. That said, no need to cut my studies short, just need to find someone else to emulate. Real question is, who is, who doesn't like their liege more? You have issues with him. A novice physician. Are you his physician? No, just a vassal. He lives in Urid, though. So maybe Count Litumiso. That means you're gonna have to start all over again. Yes, I'm aware. I've already talked about all those things from the previous episode. And I am its culture head, yes. Yes. Yes, I understand. I already pointed that out. Also, by the way, since I'm a culture head, I'm allowed to reform and diverge a culture. And to reform it means you have to establish a tradition. Which means you're going to have to spend a large amount of prestige for any of these things. Which God knows what would be good for us. And there's only one regional, and that's steppe tolerance, but we don't live anywhere near the steppe, so that will not do. It's not going to happen under my watch. I think it will only happen, to establish a new tradition will probably only happen when the land of the Avars becomes a free state. When the Khanate returns. Almost all the light footmen are filled, so we will start the war. It's starting in March. We have a habit of going out and raiding during the winter, but times changed. Okay. You only gained a very, very tiny amount of prestige. So you lose prestige when you reinforce them. So in other words, these are all affordable. It's just you cannot increase the size of each of them. So in total, we have 300 horse archers, 200 light horsemen, and 200 light footmen, and 6 champions and a few more levies if need be. And plus with the trained commanders, it's supposed to, you know, help it out a bit. And you've got to keep the foreign affairs up because it gains prestige. No, there's no need for new stewards. So we're going to put a pause on the raid, and we're just going to fight a quick war to take the Duchy of Vax from him, while my half-brother will remain as my vassal, because I believe it's much better for him to serve under me rather than being independent, or more autonomous, I should say, towards Bulgaria. Too bad we don't have any siege masters. But still, I'm a firm believer it's better to serve under me rather than to the king directly. Stood strong in the face of the enemy. My soldiers have fought valiantly so far in the battle of Visegrad, but are slowly growing tired as their foes push harder and harder in rage against their demise. After a prolonged period of combat and a strong enemy counter-push, my men are stumbling around, exhausted and in dire need of motivation. Seeing the opportunity to deliver some inspiration, I step up to give my warriors a stirring speech to invigorate them and restore their drive to continue battle against the difficult foe. Once I step up, I begin to ponder what I might say, as a few of my soldiers stop fighting to watch me in admiration. This is part of that mod that I'm talking about, battle events. Because of events like these, you're going to be seeing them a little more often throughout the whole series, and in future series as well. So, they watch me in admiration. I'm a young man who is brave and ambitious and chaste, so I'll have a slight stress because I am brave. 7. I don't like those chances. Can you help me with this? A little bit? Now it's 50% chance. Okay. So there's a 50% chance that my speech impresses my soldiers, which includes all the members of my champions, that they'll have a little higher opinion. But there's a 30% chance that my speech deeply inspires my soldier, which for the duration of this war, no doubt, will make me a powerful speaker. And the champions will have a higher opinion. But there's a 20% chance that my speech is so bad I lose my self-confidence for the time being. Take heed of these words, my brave soldiers. Some of you are farmers born in the granaries that fed our nation. Some of you are villagers in the towns that we lived in and grew into people as we are now. Some of you, like me, were raised by our fathers and grandfathers to show no mercy to the scum that might threaten our brothers and sisters and families we have at home. The same people who eat from our farms, live in our villages, and raise our children. Today, we fight for those people, for those souls who know nothing of the horrors we face on this battlefield today. Maybe today is the day I see the heavens, and maybe yours comes soon after. Let us meet in that realm as warriors, unfazed by the strength of our enemies. We fight to the end, unshaken by the storms that shake mountains to the ground. We stand unscathed by the fires of the demons who may scorch our souls. We stand now, together, and we fight. Are you with me? I boom to my soldiers, who begin to shout in anticipation of the combat that comes. I raise my blade, the rumble of footsteps beside me stops. The enemies advance in tracks, even sent some into retreat, terrified by the blind fear of instilling my orders. Unfazed, unshaken, unscathed. Charge! Powerful speaker. Deeply inspired my soldiers. Thank you some more for giving me the confidence. And plus, it's just a minor battle. It's not a huge battle. We're only fighting against my brother, alright? Calm down, will ya? But nevertheless, my glory is widely known. And distinguished, this makes secular opinion a little more up. And another champion will join the fold. It's gonna be an 8-month siege, so take what you can get. Now, imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Those battle events like these coming to the future. For this series, and the next after. Keep looking. While the siege is ongoing, let's have a look at the royal court real quick. His court is ranked 11th in the world. Keep going, as the siege is ongoing. He's still paying his amenities, as the grandeur is 4. Court language is still Greek. There's my half-brother over there. Where's me? Did you see that little flash? He just changed. I mean, that guy wasn't there the last time, so he's changing positions, or courtiers are coming and going. Yeah, I'm not anywhere near that. But I do see my half-brother over there. Even though he's located in his capital. Council invitation. To my vile vassal. Of course he would say that to me. I've come to the acceptable conclusion that you are truly the best candidate I have for my open council position. Though it pains me to do so, I'm unfortunately obligated to offer you the position of Chancellor of Bulgaria. Even though I'm a military man, but a Chancellor was my father's position. But there is prestige in becoming a Chancellor, so I shall accept. Thank you. See? More prestige. fellow vassals will respect me a little more. At least that lessens it. So let's hope for a continued cooperation between us. Just that execution was his very first kill. So instead it's Semyon. And plus, since I have this duchy, that means, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to gain a digital claimant. Grieving is such an easy and wonderful thing. A little miracle rarely gives a moment's thought. Now, as I struggle to keep my grief even and a cough attacks are followed with a stabbing chest pain, it is constantly at the forefront of my mind. It is pneumonia, my lord, not to be taken lightly. How shall we proceed? Oh, God. Pneumonia ain't nothing to mess with. I better stop this or we're gonna have some grave digging to do. It says that you are very wise, and despite the fact that we had a disagreement back then, but do no more than what it is necessary. Pneumonia is temporary. Punyante offered me a clear potion in a gilded vial. As I had tasted some previous remedies of Punyates, I was worried at first. When I drank it, I could detect neither odor nor taste. I inquired about the ingredients, but she told me that it was a secret recipe. The mysterious potion just turned out just what I needed. For now, the worst of my symptoms have alleviated, and the world seems a little brighter. Excellent work. Huge boost. I'm still poor, but I'm not out of the woods yet, so I should take it easy when leading armies. Maybe just being out here I was able to get pneumonia, but this treatment will last a year, so let's hope that pneumonia goes away. It's temporary, it's not like cancer or anything like that. And there are no other decisions. Oh, I'm a frontline commander. Just realized that. So if you are, which I am a frontline commander currently, which this character prefers to make combat decisions by meeting with foes head-on in conflicts, allow themselves to be more involved in the events that might occur in battle. But if you wish to, even though I'm not going to do that right now, you can become a tactical commander, which you prefer to make combat decisions strategically when in battle, rather than involving themselves too much in the fighting. After all, I did make a heroic speech, even though it was an easy battle. But still. Since I have an antiquarian, I could commission an artifact, but... well, we're not going to spend any money anytime soon, as all the buildings are under construction, so... save up a little money, perhaps after the next raid. We'll get an artifact. Preferably get me a weapon. I have a son. Yes. Think of a name. Timir. Or Timna. Or is it Timo? How do you pronounce that? Because it's got that accent. Timur, Khunzakhal. Almost over. Again. No heart, no feelings, brother. We just need to unite the realm. Together we are stronger. And plus, you might make a good steward. I mean, look at you. You'll be good at your job. We got him. Finally, a messenger rushes into my tent, informing me that the white drapes have tumbled over the walls of the tribe of Visegrad. As the gates to the holding swing open, the church bells, or in this case, you know, whatever bells that the Tengris are ringing, even though there are no temples here, signaling surrender, followed by the appearance of my half-brother, on horseback with a few of his guardsmen. I know when I'm beaten, he says, after dismounting his horse and kneeling before me. All I ask you to spare my people. Let me see. Don't do that. Oh. Plus, you could have a martial lifestyle experience, but there's a small chance you could gain. Even though it says they'll be defeated and all that, but I'll just say, I accept your surrender, even though we'll imprison him, but I will later release him, just a show of goodwill. He'll be a vassal. But all of his family, which he doesn't have a family to begin with. And who's this? Eh. I mean, the battle's already over, no matter what. So I could lose some stress, because I'm in this. As I have a fair reason, no one will think of me as a tyrant, so. Sorry about this. Just only want to gain some... Oh, really? I've become a military engineer, in addition to being an organizer. With an extensive knowledge of siege engines and defense capabilities, it will not be kept at bay. But the only issue with that is, I have no siege weaponry. And plus, I'm suffering from pneumonia. And I learned a lot from the siege, so we gained additional martial lifestyle. There, we released him out of goodwill, so I'm very sorry about this. To make it up, I'll make it up to you. You will be my new steward. And I'm sure we'll get along again. Despite the fact that we refused the alliance, which you'll never get over that, but I'm sure those years after fighting each other, and when I get better from pneumonia, we'll work together. And perhaps one day, we'll fight against Bucks, which I do not have a cast spell on him. How much? 33. I was about to say, well, wait until you get better. You don't want to go out hunting with pneumonia. But I would not like it if I passed, and actually he gets to be the heir of everything. But at least we connected. Bahar, you'll be next. Because it would be very good if you were to join us as well. Again, together we are stronger. And we hope our relations with them will strengthen it. We'll do whatever we can between us. So, just hope and just wish in good health. Far from home. A stranger is brought before me. He's been waiting outside the castle gates for a week, my liege, my guard informs me. The man bows deeply. My name is Straz. He's a Palabian, Your Highness. I have traveled far and wide, have seen many things. While my family and I are weary of the road, if you allow us to stay, I will happily share my knowledge of the world to you, and be your loyal servant. Wanderers. Palabians. So, you any good? If only. And these are your children, huh? Sorry, I've lisping. But all I could say is embrace Tengri, and this will be your home. You all need to be converted to Tengrism because we're paranoid about having Christians in our court. And my son will never marry your kind. So now I serve as Chancellor. If we can cooperate more, then maybe perhaps I'll petition the liege a little later. Don't even think about it, brother. Because I will put you down. While performing our duties, Spimus, LK has uncovered a secret held by my liege, King Boris. King Boris? Ooh. Secretly taken proxy. An antiquarian. As a lover. Aha. It's useful to know. What's that? Kinslayer. Oh, of course. He executed his son. Because he did what he can do. Because he's the king and he can get away with it. It is considered criminal to King Boris, but let me see. Yes, it's criminal to kinslaying, but in my religion, kinslaying is criminal. Murder is murder. What he did there is he committed a sin for doing that, which means he can't declare holy wars of any kind if he remains so. And I could blackmail him, which he might accept, and he will not like me for this, but it won't work, so what he need, as I said, we need cooperation between us. If he can make him like me more, and learn his language, then I'll try to get a hook on him. I'm sure there's perhaps a few more secrets that we can find. Unworthy challenge. At first I thought a simple footman a fool or stepping onto the training field. However, the battle proved more hard-fought than I expected. It gradually became clear that you've been unable to stop his wild and vicious strikes from hurting me. Disarming him suddenly became a matter of life and death. I tried not to show my relief when his sword finally hit the ground. Hey, take it easy on me. I have pneumonia. I could use more people like you. Look at you. Handsome man. A handsome, brave warrior. Women will fall for you. Yes. Come on in. Be serving as one of my champions. One of the best. And we'll raid soon. Once I get better from pneumonia, that is. Because I can't guarantee if I'm going to be around any longer. If I do survive pneumonia, we're going raiding. But in the meantime, we're going to put your skills to use. I want you to increase the development of Heves here. Because this needs to be developed. It's farmlands. We have the... That's the reason. It's farmlands, and we need to increase it. Not just in Heves, but also in Visegrad eventually. Well, that's your responsibility to get it under control. So far, so good. Lost in translation. Oh dear. The alchemist reached for an ancient piece of salted beef as the Scalder looked on in fear. Then suddenly I'm interrupted by the fuming Tiberius. Did you just call my beloved father a spawn of hell and a libidinous? He screams. I demand recompense for this grievous insult. Perhaps my Slavonic needs more practice. Oh, you know my language. In addition, Georgian. Must be a well-traveled man. Let's give this a shot. So, I'll just say... Oh, you misheard. I called him charming and a sunbeam. I'll try to trick him and think flattering his father. Ah, he sees through my lie. Never mind then. Yeah, all that prestige went away. May want to do a few things. Hunt, raid. I must admit, I did worry my life at one point, but now that anguish is nothing but a pale memory. Full of thankfulness, I draw a deep breath and ready myself for the day to come. Time to conquer the world. That's something he would say, him being an ambitious man. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So, this will be the next perk to get. Don't get this because I doubt we can get all of them around. Then we'll start taking this route until I become a strategist. And my prowess is good enough that I think I should remain a frontline commander. Tell you what. Let's go hunting. Because I need some prestige. And also to get rid of all that stress due to learning a language. And after the hunt, we go raid. And after we get our money, I'll be hunting in Visegrad. And after we get some money out of this, then we'll commission an artifact. Particularly a weapon. Yeah. A sudden stillness falls over me. As I turn my saddle, I see it. The White Hart. Before I have time to raise a cry, it disappears into the farmlands. For 5 years. Forget it. The hunt continues. No need to antagonize the locals a bit. Plus another reason why am I not taking the not going to take Kingsguard. It'll give you additional number of knights. Or in this case champions. And any lands you own. That makes up for it. The hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses to leave the farmlands. Behind us, servants prepare to halt another game for the journey back. In spite of our difficulties along the way, the hunt went very well. We return home reinvigorated. Alright, let's go raid. Put the rally point here in Visegrad. These are the areas that's already been raided. And because you are a siege engineer, this does not mean that you can raid faster. This time we will take less friendly fatal casualties and have more of an advantage in battle. And I will still be a frontline commander. Because of my high prowess. So in other words, I know no fear. We'll be raiding the heck out of this area. Because there's some money in that. Yes. We ride. Saddle up. At least it doesn't cost too much prestige for raising raiders. And if they got a problem with us, try to fight against us. The White Hart, again. Since I started, my search reports coming from all over the realm about finding the flighty White Hart. To sift through the accounts and sort fact from fiction is a huge task, if only reports are more reliable. Ah! Don't do that to my brother. I can do it. I must. I'll probably hold a feast if I still have money to spare. got somebody. A gardener. Do you care about this man? Well, every little bit helps. The settlement of Temes and Visegrad, an important stronghold in the greater area, has fallen to my raiders. We have run fast tracks of land, and many of the quivering subjects and shining treasures of Chieftain Prokop to choose from. Troops stand ready, waiting to await my command to give them direction. Bring me bounteous plunder. Yeah, we're definitely commissioning an artifact once we're done. Right next door. Found a non-believer's secret. Another gardener. She's just a guest, not an actual court gardener. It's not part of their culture. Son and heir. Jackpot. That's 50 gold. Yeah, we'll be heading this area. We'll take a few casualties, but it'll be worth it. We're just going to raid all over this place, then come back home with a large amount of loot. And we're going to spend it by commissioning an artifact. And plus another reason why develop it. This is another thing it does. Also reduces the construction time. So we can build the building, the longhouse here, a little faster. So we can get some monthly prestige gain. So that way we can afford these men-at-arms regiments. We are horse lords after all. Nobody here but the money. Oh no, we already got it. This keeps track of how many prisoners you took during this whole time you raised. Oh, you'll definitely pay. So we're going straight to the capital itself. They're not going to attack us, but we could beat them up as long as they're not in forests. That would be to our advantage. At this rate, actually no, he's not attacking us, he's raiding. Okay, that's different. So get 15 out of this, 15 out of this, and then go home. Don't go this far south because this was looted before. Probably by Serbs or someone else. captured his chancellor. Wise man, huh? Unimportant. Really? I'd be spending piety for this, but you can't be doing that. You're not a sadistic person. Okay, last area, then we'll go home. After all, the more casualties you take, you're not going to hold the max amount of loot. So it would be wise to get out now. To quarantine or not? I overhear a scholar and a merchant debate the merits of quarantines during plagues. The scholar says that wise men and physicians have always advised that those with contagious disease must be kept away from the healthy. The merchant says isolating communities will destroy trade opportunities and render the settlements opponent and weak. What do I think? Every little bit helps, but I'll say, in all honesty, I could care less about this debate. I'm just a military man. So, historical context. Contrary to pop history depictions of medieval people as stupid, educated scholars, physicians, and leaders of the time utilized a variety of methods to combat pandemics, including quarantines. Quarantine comes from the Venetian word quarantina, meaning 40 days, as the Republic of Venice enforced a 40-day isolation of any arriving ships or people during the Black Plague. Just another guest. A nun. An Orthodox nun. Albino with that. Capture the daughter. Oh. That's gotta have some value. 10. Well, it's not son and heir, but we'll take it. Let's get out of here. This is about as much as we can carry. Now, before you commission an artifact, check your aptitude of the antiquarian, because despite his years of service, I believe there's got to be someone better. If you're high learning. Can't pull double duty. Because you would... Would that also be revoking? Again, you saved my life from the pneumonia, so I will give you this position. Oh, actually, she can pull double duty. Okay, that means I'm doubling her pay. Okay then. Well then. What's the point of being a duke or high chieftain if I don't have nice things to show for it? A new sword would be nice, maybe a brooch. A local artisan with a spots project arises in my court. And again, antiquarian is for maintenance, it's just... Maintenance... hold on. So local artisans produce lower quality artifacts from inspired royal court guests. Since you don't have a court, you can't commission these. Not even a book, but I was able to get a language book. Got a regalia, crown, armor, a weapon. What I want is a weapon. Inspiration funded. Pagan, not pagan, but I have to use an accent because of his name. Pagan maintains his eye contact before bowing deeply. It's both an honor and a privilege to forge you a weapon. He speaks in a dignified way, but there is a glimmer of excitement in his eyes that betrays his serious demeanor. Tell me, what is your preferred way of fighting with a weapon? I wish to forge something that would suit you the best. Let me see. You want a spear? Or an axe or a hammer or a mace? or dagger or sword. Knowing that I wish to take my opponent's head on, I would say I want a weapon that makes full use of my strength. So it could be an axe, it could be a hammer, or it could be a mace. Whatever it is, get it done. Again, I didn't know you're allowed to do that. Giving her 2 court physicians, pulling double duty. Inspiration, someone to impress. Lately, my efforts to impress have fallen flat. My friendship with Strass is standing on shaky ground. It's a mess. However, I've got a brilliant idea. I'll have my beneficiary Pagan add a dedication to the masterpiece he's making. The flattered dedicatee will be deeply touched by my generosity and my sense. Will have no choice but to like me more. Well, despite the fact that you converted to Tengrism, and yet it doesn't make you a better warrior. Plus, you're just some guy, but having a friend on your side, it could help you. So I think it would be better because of his intrigue, so that way there'll be no potential agents against me. So there are Avar Tengris that don't want to live under that rule, even though they're currently converting it. And no, you can't join populist factions. Alright, here comes the money. And the prestige as well that goes along with it. Have a rest. But you know what? Let's hold a feast, because I need to get rid of this stress. Cracking open the cask and inviting guests of honor is not only a duty, but an opportunity to reaffirm the bonds of loyalty, and often a great pleasure. So it might increase the vassal's opinion of me, and it may increase my liege's opinion of me. Everyone's invited, of course, if anybody's willing. Waiting to start. The king could not be here, unfortunately. Then again, he doesn't know my language, and but I'm still trying to learn his. Guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from near and far reaches of the realm. The mood is bright, the spirits are high, and as the feast begins. Welcome, friends. It's just my brother and my wife. It's a private feast, more like. As one plate of food is replaced by the next, my wife Samur goes on and on about the blessings of marriage, and that's how we salvage that mess. Are you sure I'm not boring you, my lord? No, no, please do go on. You already like me well enough. Don't want to befriend your wife. Not a good idea. And plus, he's forging a mace, so he's going to be making a mace for me. All right. After having spoken over dinner for a while, Duchess Summer leans over to tell me she finds it impressive how knowledgeable I am about so many different things. She recognized true intellect, I see. Yeah. Because I take the time to learn a language or two, even if I have to get really stressed about learning them. It's just how it is. don't forget about Bihar. You're gonna have to take that. It'll make you look good when you hold more duchy titles for yourself. This is ridiculous. Poniente protests. As the keeper of the Duke's personal collection, I have responsibility to ensure the quality of your work. You'll see it once it's finished, Pagan retorts. You should leave a man to his work when he's forging a mace fit for royalty. Oh. Her opinion towards you versus his. But I'll say, Poniente will ensure its quality, Pagan. Which there's a possibility that the artifact produced through him will be either higher or it might be lower. But it grow closer between a rivalry between the two. So. Or I can tell her to do this, or just go out and replace him as my antiquarian as well. Well, that depends on his learning. Nope, not happening. So, we'll ensure of its quality. Stifles, so it'll be of a lower quality. Crud. They're not mad at each other yet. Again, widow to my father. And I impregnated my concubine. It's good to have more children for more potential alliances. With everyone headed for their respective homes, even though our home is here. I'm proud to say that the feast was a success. I have my wife to thank for its success. I feel nothing but gratitude to see the last few guests off. Until next time. Having more vassals would be beneficial for us. So we better get him into our realm before the Bulgarian King does something really bad. And our army is almost ready to go to war. Put it here. Wait 1 more month for the total soldiers. Who's that? Avar Orthodox. He is the king's cupbearer. Interesting. That means he's a powerful agent for schemes, but we don't want to do a murder scheme against him, because you can't do that again. And plus, we're trying to sway him, we're trying to cooperate. See? If we could sway him one more time, and then, even though it's a low chance, and then maybe, I'll ask for a petition. Yes, I know. Keep that well in mind. Okay, it's gonna be June now, so we should start that war immediately. Bahar's not gonna get any stronger, and I don't want my other half-brother to be serving under him. He should serve me. So that way I'll be the owner of 3 duchy titles, so I'll be a great duke slash high chieftain. And he and his vassals can serve under me, and we can all work together. Who are you, vassal? A wise man, but deceitful. He'll do alright. But at least he's intimidated me, so he ain't gonna... You have something? A hummus recipe. Cooks using this recipe will know the secret of making a good hummus and how to adapt it on any occasion. It is more than just mixing together some chickpeas, tahini, and lemon juice. It's also knowing about the right spices, garnishes, and more to use. Man, I feel jealous. That's some good food. I never noticed that. But anyways, capture the capital and you will capture the child and you will win. We're gonna catch him. We captured Sarkhan, the Marshal. He's a lunatic. You got good prowess. You should serve under me instead of my brother. Come on in. It's part of our culture. Recruited gives a positive opinion modifier. Sometimes strong hook. You should serve as one of my champions. Unfortunately, this weapon I'm getting is going to be of a lower quality, so if we ever have a lot of money, we'll be sure to try it again sometime. Development complete. Now we're going to continue this progress. So let's start. As I said, gotta have more vassals, and that's why they must serve under me. Because they can provide some levies to us. Praise Yashahan. Seva. A child of a concubine. Count of Serdets is a bastard? Unbelievable. You're doing a very good job of finding secrets. Though my parents have passed away for some time, I suddenly recalled a warm and happy memory of them today. Regardless of my feelings about them while they were alive, even after death, my memories of them can bring me joy. I am glad. I recalled a happy memory about my parents. Yeah, my father. What a good man he was. It's just he was so brave. He was just too damn brave. Heck, I'm guilty of this too, being brave, but it's virtuous to our faith. I proved my worth earlier over there. In a recent communication, my liege king boards expressed well, may want to focus on his ambitious interests more. I can make sure our coming letters contain more on that topic close to his heart, knowing that he's a godless villain. I heard he appreciates the feats of war, since he's a military man just like me. Huh. In response to my liege asked me to cease my personal encouragement to keep the tongue in him. I do not appreciate these attempts at distraction. That slowed things down. We're gonna get a big chunk of the land out of this. Come out of there. Stays max in 31, you occupy enemy capital, so just enforce it. All of you will be the vassals. My goodness, you're all children. Well, no wonder why we had to bring them in. All of them are led by children. And I'm the only reasonable adult here, as compared to him. But regardless what you think of me, regardless what you all think of me, together we are stronger. Because we need you to provide levies for us. And if you don't, we will fall. Yeah, we may not have anything like that, but you know, my shaman, my high shaman, there is a, like, you can claim on a county, but there's a possibility you could have a fabricated claim on a county. And since you have a lot of money, I think it would be wise to do so. If we have a claim on Transylvania, good. That'd be very beneficial. Just looking at all these things. Yeah, we just simply want to unite the Avarian people together and kick out any Bulgarians out here, even though we have nothing against them. But you see, holding more duchies and a few other things gives you all that. Now, await further completion of your mace, even though it's said to be of a low quality, unfortunately. Bosnian Christianity uprising. Yeah, sure. Let me see. Nearest rally point is over there. That we can put there. So that means you're dealing with an issue over there. Oh, over there, I should say. Okay. Inspiration realized. My lord, my beneficiary Pagan approaches me with a wide grin, sweat dripping down his forehead, and a soot smeared across his face. I have toiled over the forge many days and nights, but finally my work is done. He presents me with an object wrapped in cloth, and as I unveil what is hidden, my eyes grow wide. A flanged mace of fine craftsmanship. The wrought iron head is mounted on a solid wrought iron handle. This is lovely. Fine craftsmanship, you say. +4 prowess. Oh, okay, that's a little better than I imagined. A flanged mace of fine craftsmanship. A wrought iron head is mounted on a solid wrought iron handle. A tiny but elegant description runs on the side, dedicated to a stalwart friend, Strats, that Palabian friend of mine. Moment. This is my mace. So, if you got a lot of money, next time, get the armor. And you can't do that until 3 years. Okay, that's a reasonable time. 3 years. Get armor next time. It'll take us 45 days to get to Verbosna. And we'll be dealing with that rebellion over there. Even though it's not really my business, but I want to help out my Serbian ally there. Quiet. We got here faster than you did. Even though mountains is not our ideal terrain to fight, but we'll do what we can anyhow. It's better if the Serbs were to fight. I mean, it's their land. They're better defenders than we are, militarily. There's a high success chance I'll finally learn the Slavonic language. Then we can have an understanding between us. Speed up a little. Sparring grounds in Visegrad is finished, which means more levies, knight effectiveness increase, champion effectiveness. Our skirmishers will do well as well, since we have no heavy infantry. No, don't need that. And there's room for another champion to join. An experienced diplomat, you say? Oh, wait a minute. How long have you been here? And it says you might leave. He's a Mogia. Oh. Are you better than my chancellor? Yes, sir. Okay, don't leave. I got a job for you. Don't have to pay much. Excellent. This definitely helps the prestige gain. And he's an eager reveler, too. I may not know your language, the Magyar language, but I'm sure we can cooperate. Is there any better court tutor? 16. But he's one of the great fighters. I would rather give him another job. But wait one. Levies are full. I think it's high time to go raid again. The question is, where? Up here. If we want to, we could take it all the way to Great Moravia. Really, he's got an Avar book about books. A plain tome that shows an excellent understanding of scholarly matters as it touches upon subjects such as tome collections. The cover of his letter, displaying a repeating image of geometric shapes on nauseated by the placement of rock crystal inserts. Has he always had that? Different Avar man. Gave this to him last year. A couple of months ago, in fact. He's got a chess set, too. That's something about people in their royal courts that makes me want to go over there, raid it, and take some of it and bring it back here. But unfortunately, we don't have no royal court. So you gotta take what you can get. But there's some pretty healthy loot that we can make out of the Slovene lands, since we like raiding those kind of people. So, better get to work. Unless one of you guys has artifacts. There's one. Ceramic tankard. It's a cluttered artifact. Well, now we know where we're raiding. And if Great Moravia's got a problem with that, well, good luck trying to fight against us. This has already been looted. This is not. That's one. Couldn't help but notice, you know, that city over there. What? Why? How? There's never a quiet moment. My son and heir Dima is so full of questions. I do my best to encourage his curiosity, but sometimes I cannot help but get exhausted by his constant stream of thoughts and queries. When a father and a mother love each other very much. It's likely he'll be learning foreign languages, especially that is part of our culture, you know. There's Moravian forces now. Steer clear of them. Longhouse is complete. Get the markets. Which will be a trading outpost, which it offers the opportunity for tribesmen and traders to meet and barter. This helps the tax income to pay for the levies each time we raise them. Not to mention a small source of income. And plus we need to save the money for the fabrication of a claim that's ongoing. Which it'll be 4 months from now. Yeah, why not? Back to Australia. Success. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the Slavonic language. Endless hours of practicing accentuation, sleepless nights mimicking inflection, countless lessons mastering the annotation. It was all worth it in the end. During my efforts, I looked to emulate Count Lutmissel's accent. I'm sure I would be impressed by my results. Of course, Bulgarian peasants now respect me a great deal more. I should perhaps send a letter in Slavonic to Lutomissel. See how he feels. Just hang on a second. I impressed him with my knowledge of Slavonic, so he respects me a little more. But we're not quite friends. Yet. So, now I know your language. Do we have an understanding? So, 50% less as you can speak Slavonic. Alright, good. I may ask for a petition soon. If you're feeling fine, of course. I told you gotta cooperate. And you think we Avars were gonna be persecuted? No, this helps. I'm so glad I'm doing a series on these people. But there's still a lot more work to be done. Think, think, think. A scholar's tale. I'm hosting a prominent local scholar. Contrary to my expectations of him being an awkward, doddering old man, he is tall, handsome, and charismatic young man. I see my mates and some of my noblemen gazing upon him with an amusing hunger in their eyes as he recounts his many adventures with a soothing, deep voice. In one of his anecdotes, he recalls the time he came across a large lake in my realm. He once visited, but almost drowned when he tried taking a swim. When he came to, he found himself on one of the lake's islands he never saw before. As he describes its geography, I do not recall the existence of such a lake on an island either. Not even when we raided this area, at this lake on this side of Pannonia. No, not that I know of. But I'll say, what happened next? This is all very mysterious. The scholar circled the shore of the island and came across an old temple built by the ancients. Huh? It's still in good condition, despite being abandoned. He quickly prayed to Tengri. Afterwards, to his surprise, he found a small boat near the temple which he used to leave the island. Every time he returned to the lake, he could never find the island again. No one has heard of an island on that lake with its characteristics and geography, and it isn't even mentioned in the local legends, and his fellow scholars have not found a trace in its historical records. However, we are all sure that he isn't lying, as he is a respected scholar after all. I'm curious. Will I find the island one day? Who knows what secrets it holds? Monthly lifestyle experience for a year. It'll be worth it. Got a raid here, to here, Presspark and its city, and then we have to turn back. And maybe perhaps in our next raid we'll go long and head to Brno itself. places to go. Faithful now. Right. Oh! I just popped my knee. No, I need more. Try again. I know you could do it. I know you have it in you. You're Nitra, then press Paruk, and then small Zalani. Okay. I'm out of my retinue in Heavers when the road twists and takes us close to the farmers, and there it is there, and I see it once more, shimmering in the sun, the white heart. I turn to alert the others. As I turn back, the heart's already gone. It taunts me! You need to calm down, man. Keep looking. It's a big country. The court's full of secrets. Hurricane. The skies are always potentially full of danger, but even more so when out at sea. The plump, rotund man tells me. One must be ready for the worst if sailing a ship. I'm visiting some nearby merchants to discuss the matters pertaining to local trade and business, and struck a conversation with one after the meeting. Despite his obese appearance, he seems to be rather worldly and wise, as he's apparently traveled quite a lot. As a young man, back when my body was more robust and strapping, he continues with a sigh, I once served as an assistant to another merchant, and we were sailing the open seas when we got caught in the most violent tempest. My dear mentor perished. I was the only survivor of that wreck. I listened quietly as he tells more anecdotes from his life. I heard of sea merchants' personal anecdotes. Even though we live in a landlocked area, but we are next to the Danube, so ships can sail up to the Danube, so they probably came from the Pontic Sea. Greeks or Bulgarians, I suspect. Okay, one more area to loot and then we'll go back home and we'll end this episode. With a lot of loot. And of course, just short of the more fertile lands over there. We'll get you next time when we recover. When we go long. Let's bring it home. And maybe we should go get a planes specialist in case there are going to be days when I'm not running an army and someone else got to take my stead. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode. In the next episode, the development of our capital in Heves continues in my home. We will develop it until it can't develop anymore. And then we'll develop Visegrad as well, which it'll go up naturally thanks to the neighboring area here. And we'll spend our fortunes for another markets and all that for more increased income. And with the said income, I will look for more talented people, especially if there's any guests that come by, and give them some court positions that might prove to be useful to us. Especially personal champions. Because I know who are the best of the best. As I have my mace and my language manual, and I'm a man who knows 2 out of 3 foreign languages. I know Greek and Slavonic now. So, who knows what other language I may speak? Possibly Czech Slovene or Serbo-Croatian. Those are my likely options because of our close proximity with those 2 cultures here. Knowing that one day that we will have to expand and get our land back. Because I still have many claimants to this area, including there. And perhaps one day we may have to fight for it. But keep that well in mind. It's an unpressed claim. Yeah, which they'll have to be pressed, and it's not going to be inheritable by my children. But who knows when that time will come. Because this used to be Avarian land. And also one day we will have to have Transylvania. So that we will be big enough to reform the Khanate. But to do that, you need more land. You own 21 out of... You own 10 counties out of 21 that's needed. So, going this way provides a good number of land. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get down to there as well. So, we'll see what we can do from here. Well, one thing is for certain, is that now we have some degree of acceptance with the Bulgarians. As this yearly change. Despite our past, it seems we've grown to like each other. Especially that I now serve in the royal court, as we'll end this episode by the look at this image. So we hope that, ladies and gentlemen, in the next episode, that we will continue to... wait a minute, who's that? Oh, that's the steward. Where am I? Because I am the Chancellor, aren't I? Give me a second. I'm not. Oh no, I am. It's just... Look at me one more time. Okay, let's look at the Bulgarian court one more time. I'm dressed in red. So, where am I? Not here, but... You could say, the court's crowded, but I'm not in his court. Which would have shown in the background. Instead, he's got his people. But nevertheless, we'll see to it that we will expand our lands and our military especially. And we start taking more territory and continuing to raid our neighbors and faraway lands if there's any value to it, and more. We'll see it in the next episode. Things are looking up for us. But until then, so long for now.